All right, one of the ultimate knife guy questions. What's in your pocket right now? All right, anybody who knows me knows that there's probably 6 different knives on me at any given time. It's actually almost a running joke that Mike doesn't know how many knives he's got on him at any given time. It's that bad. But a knife that I've been carrying pretty much every day for the last 3-4 months, and I really didn't expect to be, is the Cold Steel Kiridashi. Now you're also going to notice I'm doing this review without my brace on. If you've been following my channel, talking about how I got catastrophically injured in January 2020, and ever since I've been working just really, really hard on PT-OT adaptation, healing rehab. For many, many, many months, I was unable to do this. And now I can. Can I do it as quickly and smoothly and surely as I used to be able to? Well, no, not yet. Is it totally pain-free? No. Might never be, but I can do it. And that's worth celebrating. So, hey, we're doing the review without the brace on because there's a few things I want to demonstrate in terms of how the knife works. All right. Now, that said, what do I like about the knife? What am I iffy on about the knife? Another big question, if you guys have been watching my channel, you know I like to tinker and modify stuff. Have I made any modifications? Let's get that one out of the way. The answer is no. This is the same as it was out of the box. I've barely had to sharpen this a couple of times in all the use I put it to, so it's held an edge really well. Haven't had to change a thing. Like it just the way it is. Again, more so than I expected to. Why was I iffy about it? Well, some of it's about the build of the materials and some of it's about the blade shape. But, again, very surprising. Let's talk about the specs first. Steel is a 4034 SS, not one I'm terribly familiar with. Sounds like it would be more of a run-of-the-mill stainless, but it's held an edge pretty well and taken on the tasks I put it to. What kind of tasks have I put it to? Well, this kind of knife I tend to carry for everyday, fine use, small to medium cutting tasks, which are the ones I use a knife for the most, like multiple times a day to open packages, cut cardboard, paper, cord, tape, those really aggravatingly stubborn plastic clamshell packages that everything comes in. Yeah, this is the perfect knife for those kind of tasks, and it's done those tasks really, really well. It kind of reminds me in blade shape of a utility knife, like a box cutter, an X-Acto knife, or something like that, but, well, a bit longer and beefier. Straight edge, it is a flat ground, saber ground kind of a thing. The blade is 2.5 inches long and its widest point about 1 inch wide. So pretty good medium to small length, very light knife, and part of that is also because of, well, it's got what they call Grivex, otherwise known as plastic scales. But they've held up pretty good. Everything is nice and solid and tight and smooth. I haven't had any issues with that in the use I put it to. The triad locks, I've talked about this in my review of the larger triad lock knives. Out of the box, they can be a bit gritty. This one is not bad at all. It's got a little bit of a hang-up, but not much. Also, on their smaller knives, when the triad locks are new, that back lock, it can be really, really super stiff. Now, on a bigger, heavier knife with a lot more girth to grip on, it's a little bit easier to handle than some of the smaller ones I've gotten, where that can be a struggle and almost impossible to close. If I can't open and close the knife easily, I don't carry it, I don't use it. So they wind up in a box or a drawer or something like that somewhere. This one, yeah, it's just really smooth and really easy to open and close, even with my injury, reduced strength and range of motion. Also with the opening. Like I said, sometimes I have to change the shapes of things just so I can get my kind of wounded claw here to open stuff up. But this one, I can get that stud and open it up at my current functioning very smoothly, very consistently, and yeah, with either hand. So that's not a problem. Haven't had to change anything. It's easy to open, relatively easy to close, just handy. Also, the ergonomics feel pretty good. There's some texture pattern on that plastic scale. It's not terribly thick, so it carries well in the pocket. The scales are slightly rounded. Edges are nice and smooth and comfortable, so no sharp spots. Has that little extra bonus kind of finger groove looking thing in there. So all good that way. Now there are no metal liners in there, but it's managed to be pretty sturdy. It does get some stiffness from the actual metal of the lock and spring. So you got that extra resistance. And my experience with triad locks in general is they're really, really tough. So I'm not worried about failure, at least for the use I'm likely to put it to. Now, one, slight concern I had with it, which so far hasn't been, let's take a look at the pocket clip. Now, interestingly enough, the knife that this is sitting next to in my pocket, which I've reviewed before, is my heavy use knife. That would be my AD10, okay? Which, if you look at the two knives together, is kind of ridiculous because the AD10 folded is bigger than this one open and weighs like 4 times as much. I mean, this is a massive beast. And yeah, also triad. But one of the things I mentioned about this one is it's got this really massive fat pocket clip, okay? And it actually rides a little bit high in the pocket because of the way that's built. This one has a kind of low wear pocket clip, so it fits a little bit deeper in your pocket, but it's wide, but it's also all plastic, okay? I've never had a knife with a plastic pocket clip before, so it worried me. But so far, it's been just fine. I haven't lost it. I have lost knives, tragically, because the pocket clip wasn't up to the task as I went about my day, and Lord knows where the knife wound up. Sometimes I don't remember all the places I've been in any given day. So, somebody probably got a free knife. Every once in a while, that happens. So, let's call it charity. Me doing a little giving back, unintentionally. Anyway, back to the topic. I really like this knife. It cost me $27, I think, on Amazon, so it wasn't a huge investment. So if I lose it, I'm not that worried about it. That's another thing. I do tend to carry extra knives around just because they're not terribly expensive, and if they're useful, I'm not worried about what happens to them. But this one, yeah, I've kind of become attached to it in a short period of time. I'm liking it, as I said, more than I thought I would. It's smooth functioning, it's handy, it works for me, and it's done everything I've needed it to, and nothing's really gone wrong with it. So, what else can I say? If you have this knife, let me know what you think about it in the comments. If you're thinking about getting a knife like this or this knife, again, ask your questions in the comments. I am perfectly happy to answer any questions that you've got if I can. Love having those conversations with you. And as always, thanks for watching, and I hope to see you back for more.